Hi guys, sorry for the no face, but doing this solo today. So we are solving quadratics using the quadratic formula. Off to the left hand side over here, you see x equals opposite of b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That is your magical quadratic formula. Notice that down below, things need to be in standard form. So y equals ax squared plus bx plus c is standard form, and we want to be able to identify what a is, what b is, and what c is to make it really easy, so all we have to do is substitute in those values in for a, b, and c into your formula. So first things first is the quadratic formula always works whenever you have a quadratic. We also want to mention our vocabulary term, the discriminant, which is equal to b squared minus 4ac. And we have a couple rules about the discriminant. So if b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, there's going to be two real roots. If b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0, there's going to be one double root. And if it's less than 0, there's going to be two imaginary roots, which we'll talk about in the next section. So here's a couple examples to show how these play a part. So in our first example, we have y equals 2x squared minus 4x minus 8. Again, off to the side, we want to make sure that we identify a, b, and c. So a is 2, b is negative 4, and c is negative 8. And then all you have to do is substitute those in. So the opposite of b, instead of negative 4, is now positive 4, plus or minus b squared, that should be a negative 4 squared, minus 4ac, all over 2a, which simplifies to be 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 plus 64, all over 4. You can actually do this step here, up top, into your calculator all at once to get 80. So then you have 4 plus or minus the square root of 80, all over 4. Now 80 can be broken up to the square root of 16 times the square root of 5, which simplifies to 4 radical 5. When you simplify these terms here down below, you want to make sure that the denominator is being simplified for both the numerators. So the 4 and this 4 have to get simplified to be 1 plus or minus 1 times the square root of 5. Notice that because b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, there's two real roots. So in our next example, we have that y equals x squared minus 6x plus 9. Now you could probably factor this, but I want to show you that quadratic formula can work every time. So again, identifying a, b, and c, those are these values here, a, b, and c, and substituting them into your equation, we have x equals opposite of b, which is now a positive 6, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And that's equal to 6 plus or minus the square root of 36 minus 36 all over 2, which equals 6 plus or minus the square root of 0 over 2. And that simplifies, well, the square root of 0 is nothing, so 6 divided by 2 is 3. Notice that b squared minus 4ac equals 0, so we have one double root. Notice that I don't have two solutions, unlike in the last problem. And here's some examples for you to try.